War creates stories. Some are written in history books, others survive only in whispers, passed from soldier to soldier long after the guns fall silent. During the Second World War, thousands of strange reports emerged from the Eastern Front. Stories of disappearing patrols, phantom sounds in empty forests, and shadows moving across abandoned battlefields. But among all these stories, one legend stood above the rest. The legend of a tank. That should not have existed. A tank seen by frightened soldiers, a machine with no sound, no crew, no tracks. A Soviet tank, already destroyed, yet still moving. They would later call it the ghost tank. The Eastern Front was unlike any battlefield in human history. Stretching thousands of kilometers across frozen plains, forests, and ruined cities, it became a place where survival itself felt supernatural. Winters dropped below -30 degrees Celsius. Equipment froze. Weapons malfunctioned. Men disappeared in snowstorms within minutes. German soldiers stationed there often described the front as a world detached from reality. Sleep deprivation, constant artillery fire, hunger, and fear slowly broke the human mind. And in such conditions, reality itself sometimes began to change. By late 1943, Soviet armored divisions were pushing westward with unstoppable force. Among them were legendary machines, heavily armored Soviet tanks feared by German infantry. But one encounter would become very different from ordinary combat. According to surviving testimonies, the incident took place during a cold winter night. A German infantry platoon occupied defensive trenches near a destroyed village. The fighting earlier that day had been brutal. Burned vehicles littered the fields. Frozen bodies lay half-covered by snow. By midnight, silence returned. Visibility dropped as thick fog rolled across the battlefield. Soldiers rotated watch duty, staring into darkness for signs of Soviet movement. Then one sentry reported something unusual. Movement. Slow, heavy, approaching from the east. At first, they expected engines. Every soldier knew the terrifying rumble of approaching tanks. But this time, there was almost nothing, only a faint metallic grinding, as if something enormous moved through the fog without touching the ground. The officer ordered anti-tank weapons prepared, rifles aimed forward. Breathing slowed. Then the fog shifted, and they saw it. A Soviet tank emerged from the mist, its shape unmistakable. Large turret, wide tracks, heavy armor, but something was wrong. Moonlight passed through parts of the vehicle. Sections of its hull appeared transparent. Burn marks covered its surface, damage consistent with catastrophic destruction. Yet the tank moved forward calmly. No exhaust, no engine noise, no crew visible inside. Only a pale blue glow surrounding the machine. Witnesses later described overwhelming fear, not battle fear, something deeper. Several soldiers reportedly forgot to fire. Others lowered their weapons entirely. One man allegedly screamed that the tank was already dead. The machine stopped near the trench. For several seconds, nothing happened. The ghostly vehicle simply stood there, watching. One detail appeared in nearly every testimony: on the turret. A faded Soviet red star, cracked, burned, almost erased. Some soldiers claimed they saw silhouettes inside the tank, figures unmoving, frozen in place, like a crew trapped between life and death. Then the light intensified, fog swirled violently, and the tank continued forward, passing directly through destroyed obstacles without resistance. Moments later, the phantom faded, the glow weakened, and slowly, the tank vanished into the fog. No explosion, no retreat, simply gone. The battlefield returned to silence. At dawn, officers inspected the area. They expected tracks, damage, any physical evidence. There was none. Fresh snow covered untouched ground. No signs of armored movement existed anywhere nearby. Official reports avoided supernatural explanations. The incident was recorded as misidentification caused by fatigue. But the soldiers disagreed. Strangely, this was not an isolated story. Archives contain scattered accounts from both German and Soviet troops describing phantom vehicles appearing after major battles, burned tanks seen moving again, engines heard where no machines existed, lights crossing empty fields at night. Most reports were dismissed, yet patterns remained. Always night, always fog, always locations where heavy armored battles had occurred. Modern historians propose logical explanations: extreme stress, combat trauma, sleep deprivation. The human brain under constant threat may create convincing illusions, especially in environments filled with smoke, shadows, and fear. But psychological explanations fail to answer one question: why did multiple soldiers describe the same details independently? Some researchers believe battlefields retain emotional imprints, moments of extreme violence leaving echoes behind, a phenomenon sometimes referred to as a residual haunting. Not intelligent, not alive, simply an event repeating itself, like history refusing to disappear. If true, the ghost tank may not have been aware of the soldiers at all. It may have been reliving its final moments, forever. Another theory connects the sighting to a Soviet tank destroyed earlier in the same region. Records confirm several armored vehicles were lost during an intense engagement days before. One tank reportedly exploded while attempting to break German lines. Crew members never escaped. Could the soldiers have witnessed an imprint of that final assault, a memory burned into the battlefield itself? After the war, surviving soldiers rarely spoke publicly about paranormal experiences. Many feared ridicule, others preferred silence. Yet private interviews conducted decades later revealed similar stories. Men who faced artillery without fear still struggled to describe what they saw that night. Their voices reportedly changed when mentioning the tank. Not excitement, not imagination, but unease. Today, no physical evidence confirms the existence of the ghost tank. No photographs survive. No official acknowledgement exists. Only testimonies, memories, and fear. Was it mass hallucination, a trick of light and fog, or something beyond human understanding? War ends, armies withdraw, weapons rust, but battlefields remember. Across Europe, former soldiers spoke of places that felt occupied long after fighting stopped. Perhaps the ghost tank was never meant to attack. Perhaps it was simply searching for a battle already lost, still moving, still fighting long after the war was over. Because sometimes the dead do not leave the battlefield, and somewhere in the cold fog of forgotten fronts, the ghost tank may still be rolling forward.